Welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. And this morning we are going to fertilize the blueberries. It rained really nicely yesterday and then it's supposed to rain later on the day. So it's very wet out here, but at the same time it's a perfect time to go ahead and fertilize them. And then I'm also gonna go ahead and plant the leeks because like I said, perfect time, and the soil is already moist and it's supposed to rain again. So I won't have to do any watering in or anything like that because nature is going to do it for me. Also, I think I'm gonna plant some corn, get some corn started. Y'all had mentioned me planting it in bags and I never thought about that before. So I'm gonna try to grow some corn in bags. So question for you all, how many corn do you think I could put in a bag? Like 4? Because I know they kind of got to be blocked. So I'll plant them in the same row, but I want to know how many should I put in a bag. Either way, I'm gonna start 4 for a bag, and if I'm wrong, y'all, somebody will tell me. So this is what I use for my blueberries. It's called Holly Food. Blueberries like acidic soil. And so there is an acidifier, but when I first got my blueberries, I watched a YouTube video and this is what the person said they use. I've been using it and it works. And so that's the only reason why I use it. Not because I've tried something else and it did not work. Because someone asked me like, why did I choose this instead of that? That's really the only reason. Also, I have 2 bags at this point. So we're definitely going to continue to use it. So I think it's supposed to rain off and on. So we might have to take some breaks throughout this video because I can't record in the rain. I can work, I don't mind working in the rain, but I can't record in the rain. So let's go out here. I'm gonna show you how I do it. I did not do this last year. I do think missing that made a difference. I'm gonna show you why. I don't have as many flowers as I normally would have. So I'm hoping that I'll have more flowers by the time the blueberries start to produce because I want all the blueberries. So I took that down into the garden, but before we get started on that, I need to put the plants back up on the shelf. In the smaller greenhouse, we had a windy day. The greenhouse did not move. I only took them down because in case the greenhouse kind of swayed, I didn't want them to knock that over, even though the greenhouse would still be staying. So we need to put them back up. Then we're gonna get out here and fertilize these blueberries. So all of the plants are starting to look better, especially the ones I was overwatering, but they're starting to look better. So I'm happy to see that. Those are all the tomatoes and peppers down here for the most part. Also, it's starting to drizzle. A snail, y'all. That's no bueno. It's okay, I'm gonna leave it, I guess, for now. I'll probably end up tossing it if I find it on a plant though. And another one. They are in this greenhouse, which kind of makes sense. It is moist in here. There are wood chips down here. So it kind of makes sense that they're in here. If I find them, like I said, on a plant though, I'm gonna toss them somewhere else because we can't have that. We can't have that. All right, well, it's drizzling. So give me a minute. We're gonna work through this rain. It says it's not supposed to rain like all day, but it is supposed to start raining later on today. So that's why I'm trying to get this stuff done early. And I wish I had a waterproof camera because we would be out there. I would go put something on my head, put on a hoodie, and we would go work. But I can't record in the rain. And a few people have asked about the blueberries, so I don't want to do it without recording it for y'all. Okay, so we got a little break in the rain. So we're headed back outside. I have my stool because I do not want to be on my knees in this wet soil. And I got my gloves because I don't want to play around in wet soil with my hands either. So let's talk about the blueberries a little bit. These little things right here are the flowers. And so that's where you're gonna get blueberries from. And so you can see a few of my plants are waking up now. And here's some more that are waking up. So if you can see, that bush is kind of full of flowers. So maybe I was just taking like a quick glance and I was thinking that it wasn't a lot of flowers, but I do think I still had more flowers. And so for me, all of my blueberry bushes are in a row right here, and there's one over there. And so they are all in ground. A few people have asked me what size pots. All of my blueberry bushes are actually in ground. And when I got my chip drop, I also covered them with the wood chips. And I have not always had wood chips on my blueberries. They've had straw on them before. I don't do a lot of things to my blueberry bushes. I fertilize them in early spring and then I let them go for what they know. So let us get to fertilizing. So I'm going to start by pulling the wood chips back, but we will put them back once we fertilize. But that's what I'm going to start with doing. It's not a very deep layer of wood chips, so that works. There's also some landscape fabric in front of it. I line my walkways with it. So there's a little bit of that going on too. So now we have like all of the soil out and exposed. I'm not gonna fertilize right up on the tree. I'm gonna fertilize like around what they call the drip line. And the drip line is essentially like the tip of your plant where the water would drip off. So I'm gonna fertilize kind of like right around here. And then I'm gonna mix it into the soil, and then we're gonna cover it back up with the wood chips. So let me make sure I got all of the wood chips from around it on the other side. And I don't do much measuring. I just kind of drop it around the drip line. So kind of around the plant. Can't really drop it on the drip line here because of the fabric, but it's okay. Oh, I see a worm. And then I'm just gonna mix it into the top layer of the soil. See a lot of worms, we love that. Just like that. That's all I'm gonna do. And this is what I do, as always, not telling anybody else to do it, but just sharing the way that I do it. And that's pretty much all I do. And now, we'll put the wood chips back to cover the soil, and we'll move right on down the line. And that's it. We fertilized that one bush. And I wish I could tell you the varieties of blueberries I have. I don't know. I planted out things, and I think I was maybe on Instagram. Not sure if I was on YouTube yet. And so I didn't really keep track of it. So I do not know. A lot of them, though, I will tell you, I caught on a $5 sale at the end of fall, maybe, from Lowe's. So I did get, I think I got all of these blueberry bushes from Lowe's. Caught them on a sale at Lowe's, $5, and so I bought them, and they've been doing amazing. So don't sleep on the big box store for trees and things. You know, kind of look at it, make sure it looks like it's good. But every last one of these bushes, I am pretty sure came from Lowe's. Oh, and if anybody is wondering about the stool, it's linked below. It's from Home and Garden Trends. Absolutely love it. I think I have 3 right now. I have a 4th one, but I'm gonna do a giveaway with it sooner or later when I'm feeling it in my soul. I'm gonna do a giveaway with it, but I absolutely love these stools, and they've come out with a bunch of different iterations of it. So if you're interested, there is a link down in the description. One of the things I love to see in my garden is mycelium, and that's what this is. These wood chips are breaking down, and that's mycelium forming in the soil. That's a good thing. See, I'm pulling off, this was my plan too, to kind of pull off anything that looks dead. It's not a lot on this bush, so that's cool. There was some on here, I think, that I need to go back and get, but that's something I want to do too. I do not really prune. I've never pruned these bushes. It was my plan to keep them low, but they could be a low bush variety. They have low blueberries and they have high blueberries. This could just be a low bush. All right. Second bush done. Very happy to be getting this done. Okay, so everything has been fertilized. I did go back through off camera to kind of look for old branches, but if they don't snap off, I'm not pulling them off, because to me that means they're still alive and maybe they're just looking a little brown. I don't know, but there weren't a lot, and so I didn't take any off. Let me see. See how that just kind of snapped off? That's what I'm looking to take, but I'm not gonna worry about little tiny ones. I'm more concerned about the larger ones, but everything is fertilized. So we're gonna hope to see a few more flowers. Okay, so here's the thing. I do not cover them in the winter. They're very cold hardy. I will cover them in the summer if the birds start to eat them, because my first year, I think, having them, they did bloom and I did get blueberries, but the birds ate all the blueberries before me. So when I say I don't cover, this is probably the only thing that I will cover. Also, there's no infrastructure to keep me from covering. I'll just put some mesh over top of them in the summer until they're ready to be harvested. I take what I want and I do share with the birds. However, I take the larger portion now and they get what's left over. And so it's really that simple for me. That's the only thing that I do. Again, if there is something that I feel like I need to cut off or take off, I will, but I don't have a regular pruning schedule for my blueberries or anything like that. So look at this. This one really long random piece is right here, and I really want to cut it, and I think I'm going to, because I mean it's just random and long and tall. And that's just because I prefer it. I think I'll be fine to just leave it. It'll probably grow some more blueberries, and true story, I probably could propagate it. I'm gonna look that up to see if I could propagate it, and I might be able to just get another blueberry bush and plant it somewhere else, because that thing is long. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is this area where the cabbage came out, we're gonna plant the leeks. And I know y'all don't normally see me like measure or anything like that, but I am gonna measure out a square foot. I'm gonna put 9 leeks in 1 square foot, because I have fallen in love with leek and potato soup. And so I want them to grow as big as I can get them. I could also dehydrate them and save them. I did do that last year too. So I'm gonna plant them kind of deep because I want mostly white. I did this last year and I think that it worked just fine. I did get some leeks, but I do want to give them the space that they need to get big. And so as it relates to planting in a square foot, I just have a ruler, right? And I'm just gonna take this ruler and make an indentation, because that's 12 inches right there. Then I'm gonna take it, go just like this, make an indentation, do it like this, make another indentation. And so that is 1 square foot to this line right here. So in between, I'm gonna do 9 leek plants. And I'm just gonna go down the row and make my square foot. I should have 4 square feet, I believe, in this. So we're gonna start right here from the end of that first line. Make an indentation for myself. I don't pick up the rulers because I want to kind of keep it in the space it's supposed to be in. And then I turn it, and now we have another square foot. And so that's basically what I do to measure out. When I do measure out, I don't do this often, but I do want to do it for the leeks. Just like that. And so now, of course, that's my last square foot. I don't need to measure that. Let me say this before somebody comes to get me. I'm standing on my bed because I have a mole or a vole, and so it's gonna end up pushing the soil back up anyway. Does not concern me to stand on my beds. All right, so now we have 1 square foot here. Where are my gloves? Goodness, I'll be right back. The soil is pretty moist, so I should just be able to make the holes with my finger. Yep, and I'm just gonna go pretty deep down, and so I'm gonna do 3 rows of 3, maybe. I don't know, I want to break my nail. Oh, found a stick. Let's go with the stick. Like I said, planting them kind of deep, trying to see if I can feel I don't feel any tunnels, so that's a plus right now. And the ones that I'm planting closer to the edge, when I water, I make sure I kind of pay special attention to the edge, because the edge beside the bricks, well, any raised bed, will dry out a little bit faster than the things in the middle. So I'll just make sure I pay attention to that when I water. And so now we have a few leeks, and these leeks have been outside for a few weeks now. So they've been through a freeze, they've been through the cold, and we're just gonna plant them out now. And leeks don't mind having their roots disturbed, but also you see how the roots are coming out the bottom. They're not getting root bound because there's a hole. So the hole is good so it doesn't get root bound. Also good so I can push it out pretty easily. And then these sides are good for root pruning. And so these trays are from Bootstrap Farmer. There's also a link down in the description if you are interested in them. I'm gonna take my glove out to get it out, and then the whole thing just comes right on out. I love that. And now we're just gonna separate them and drop them down into the hole. That's pretty much all that I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna, like I said, planting them deeper, because the white is what you're going for with leeks. You want the white, and the white comes from it being covered in the soil essentially. I'm just gonna take the gloves off in general. And see, the roots don't get torn, they come right on out. And I planted just a bunch of leek seeds in one little sail, knowing that I could separate them really. And now I'm just gonna go back, make sure there's connection, and cover them up. Make sure all the roots are down in the soil. And when it rains later on today, the soil will fill around it even more. got a bit chilly out here. I had to go put on a sweatshirt and I put on some thick socks in my boots because it got a little bit chilly. I was cold. We are almost done planting out the leeks that can fit in this space. I'm gonna kind of look around to see where I may be able to put some more because I do have more. Let me finish this up and then I want to show you we have more potatoes coming. Some of the broccoli has started to sprout and it has a decent sized head. Don't think it's gonna get too much bigger. The broccoli from fall that we had put in, and then the other broccoli is finally starting to look well established, like the plants are getting bigger, growing new leaves, so I'm excited about that. So just kind of out here, don't know how long I'm gonna be out here because like I said, it done got cold, y'all. All right, so we have planted out all of the leeks for this space. Like I said, I'm gonna find a spot for what's left over there because I want them all. So what you saw me doing with like the little fork thing is I was loosening up the soil because what I was noticing is there was still roots, and that's from the cabbage that we just pulled. And that's why I pull my vegetables, because the fact that I don't let my garden like rest in the winter, like there's always something growing, I have a root issue and my beds have gotten root bound before, and so to avoid that, that's why I pull it. But then I went ahead, loosened it up, broke up the roots, and then I feel like they will break down quicker if I kind of loosen them up and break them up. So that's what I did. But look at that. That's a potato. That's also a potato. This is the potato that I showed y'all the other day. So that was like 2 days ago, and we got a whole new piece of potato coming out. And like I said, planted in January, February, not sure. Also planted with potatoes that I saved from my harvest last year. Excited to see that stuff coming up. Let me show you this broccoli real quick. Now, do I think that it's gonna get much bigger? I don't think so. I think that like these are gonna be small heads of broccoli. But if you have small heads of broccoli, like sauteing them with a little bit of seasoning, and I'm telling y'all, that complete seasoning somebody sent me, I am loving that. I just sauteed it with a little bit of olive oil and some complete seasoning. Delicious. But anyway, let me show you. There we go. That's one right there. One right there. Another one there. And we're just getting side shoots on this one. We're not really getting a middle one, so that's fine. And we got side shoots coming on that one too. And these are the ones that's in the Vego garden bed that I talked about all year, and it gets shady, but we are still getting some broccoli. And then over here too, you got broccoli there. You got side shoots coming in. These ones are just getting the side shoots, so that's fine. Eventually, it's all gonna be food. It's all gonna be food, y'all. Oh, let me show you like the broccoli plants and stuff that we planted not too long ago. So see right there, and you know, these were kind of small and they are getting established. Not so much that one, but they're getting established. And the two right here, they just died. And also the tree collars are looking bad back here. So I'm wondering if we got like more mold activity right there, or vole, whatever it is. And then over here, that's our kohlrabi. The Swiss chard had gotten eaten up a little bit. I don't know what was eating it. I'm guessing a slug or a snail, but it's rebounding. Then you got kohlrabi. You got collards coming in. There you go, another kohlrabi. So I think once the weather settles and you know it starts to get warm, spring gets here, like really warm and not switching back to days like today. I don't know what the temperature is out here today, but my hands are freezing. So, all right, what are we doing next? I'm not gonna plant the rest of those leeks on camera. When I do another garden tour, you all will see. Oh, the lettuce, let me show you that real quick. The lettuce is looking good too. We love that for me. Oh, and the spinach. That's the spinach that had looked like it was dormant all winter long, starting to grow. And then of course the ones over here, same thing, looking real good. So I'll be doing a garden tour soon and I will show y'all everything. But the garden is starting to, I don't want to say fill out, but you can see that things are growing and that like I'm probably gonna get at least some small leaf harvest. I don't know that I'm gonna get broccoli and cabbage and stuff, but it's worth a try. Again, I'm not planting out until May, and so with that being said, they still have the rest of March and April to continue to grow. And by the way, with the leeks, I'm going to fertilize them like I fertilize everything else in the garden. So whether I'm using fish emulsion or comfrey tea, I'm going to use the same fertilizer amount. So listen, for me, if it was under the ground, I thought root vegetable. I was thinking that about garlic, I was thinking that about onion, I was thinking that about leeks, but they are alliums. I didn't know know they were alliums, but for whatever reason, I still thought root vegetable. So we're gonna fertilize them the same way we fertilize everything else this year, and we're not gonna do anything different. I was diluting the fertilizer to the root vegetable fertilizer when I was measuring. And so we're gonna do that a little bit different this year, see what we get. I hope to have like really big leeks right there. Like I said, absolutely fell in love with leek and potato soup. My dad is actually still asking for it. I was like, I don't have any leeks, sir. So other thing I want to do today is to start hardening off the cilantro and the calendula. I kind of want to do the nasturtiums too. I feel like they'll be fine. Calendula can take a slight freeze, and cilantro likes the cooler weather. We don't have any freezes in our forecast, and so with that being said, oh, and probably the dill. I want to start hardening that stuff off because I'm going to watch the forecast between this week and next week, and if we don't have any freezes, I'm gonna go ahead and plant those things out. But I do want them to sit out in the garden so that they can be acclimated to the weather as well as like the wind and rain and stuff. So we're gonna do that. We're about to put those out too. Ooh, that cilantro smell good. All right, we need another one of these because I don't think we have any more. I don't know what that is. I think this might be, this is fennel. Fennel, I'm pretty sure has to go out after the last frost. Oh, here goes some more cilantro. Does that fit? It does. All right, let's take these out and then we can come back and get the rest. And those are ranunculus that did not sprout. It's okay, I ain't tripping. Oh, you know what? I should get the trays. These are the microgreen seed trays, but it's fine. I should get the ones that have holes in them. That way I don't have to worry about water sitting in them when they out there. But let's just go ahead and get them for now. I think this is more dill. I mean, I planted out some dill, y'all. I don't think I was really paying attention. All right. There's a calendula in here with a nasturtium, so that'll help me find out easily whether I could put these nasturtiums out too. If this one lives, then I could put the rest of them out. So, all right, we have more. I need to go get another tray. All right, we grabbed some that had holes in them. It just would be easier for me to not have to worry about it. Plus, it's gonna rain tonight, so whew, those look really good. Look at that. Love that. All right, let's see. I believe that's it. So we'll move this stuff up. I feel like this is cilantro too. Oh no, that's parsley. All right, so let's kind of move this stuff around. We get more sun on the front. I kind of try to come out and turn them throughout the day if I remember. We'll leave this up here. Half of it ain't no good no way. All right, let's go switch all of this stuff out to the pots, to the trays that have holes. It is chilly, y'all. I think we're going in the greenhouse and we're going to get a heater. I've pretty much done everything that I had planned to do in the garden aside from finding a spot for those other leeks, but I gotta think on it. I gotta think on it. All right, we have brought the party into the greenhouse where we are about to turn that heat on. I cleaned up in here. I'm about to mess it up again, but I did clean up in here. Y'all, my kohlrabi in here is bolting. So when I say bolt or go to flower, that's it. If I let this continue, it's going to turn into a flower where I will get seed pods out. But pretty much everything in here is looking pretty bad. So like I had told y'all last week, I was probably going to be pulling these out in a week or so. So we'll be working on that sometime this week. Because listen, even the broccoli giving it up. Even the broccoli like, no, we out of here. But these broccoli in here did real good for me. All of this stuff did good for me. I should have harvested that kohlrabi when I harvested kohlrabi earlier, but it's okay. But also, there's Swiss chard in here, so we're gonna leave that in here even after we pull all of the rest of this stuff out. So why are we in here, you ask? I am going to start the sweet corn. So I have a Silver Queen hybrid and a Peaches and Cream hybrid. I had other corn, but I'm just gonna go with those two. I'm probably going to start, let's go with maybe 16. And then I can give 4 bags to corn and we'll see how it goes this year. And I am gonna sit those 4 bags in like a cluster because as I understand it, you should plant them in blocks because that's how they will pollinate each other. other. So wherever I plant them, it's gonna be 4 bags of them. And that's how much real estate I'm gonna give to corn this year, because I've never done this before, but a few of you said like, yeah, just plant them in bags. So that's what I'm gonna try. I do love corn. Now, corn is not expensive. It's very inexpensive at the store. But this is gonna be the one thing new that I plant this year that I'm excited to try to plant. And so with that being said, that's what we're about to do. The other thing I want to do, is I'm going to start some more microgreens. I'm gonna start a tray for us and a tray for the chickens. So that's gonna be what we're doing in here. So as I understand it, corn is a heavy feeder. So I kind of like being able to plant it in a bag, because I can make sure that I put a good amount of compost in the bag. I can make sure I can fertilize it the way that corn likes to be fertilized. So I kind of do like the idea of planting it in bags. And so that's what we're going to do. Now, here's the thing. I feel like I should not plant both varieties because they can cross-pollinate. So maybe I'll only do one variety this year. And I like white corn. So we're going to go with the Silver Queen variety, because I am a big fan of white corn. If this goes well, then next year I can like make sure I have space to put them all over the garden, if that makes sense, if it works. So we are going to play around with this white corn, growing it in bags this year, and we're going to follow it together. I'm excited. So if you have grown corn in bags, I know a lot of people said that they have. Please give me some tips and tricks, because I know nothing about growing corn or growing it in bags. I've never done it. So with that being said, I need all the tips and tricks you can give me. And also, we're planting 18 just because we're putting them in 6-cell trays, and so I'm gonna just plant 18. And then that also gives us some space for if something does not germinate. So I did look it up, and it said you should have 1 corn stalk per 12 inches. I know that bag is probably 12 inches. Now, I'm going to still try with 4. I'm still going to try with 4 in there. I think as long as I put enough, I hope, I think as long as I put enough nitrogen in the bag, that I should probably be fine. And so corn are bigger seeds, of course. I would show you. So corn has larger seeds in most cases. So with that being said, we're just gonna push it down and cover it up, because you want to plant your seed about 1 to 2 times the size of the seed. And since they are huge seeds, I don't think that I'm gonna have a problem with planting and getting germination. This is gonna be so exciting if these germinate, y'all. Well, not germinate, if they actually produce some, you know, corn for us. Now, these seeds are from 2024. We're in 2025. I'm just gonna put 2 and thin it. That's my plan for this. So we're just dropping them down in here, and we're only doing this one variety, like I said. I'm gonna cover it back up with soil in that one. My quail are going wild beside me, y'all. I thought Bertha was broody this morning. She was not, and she didn't even try to peck me. Somebody left a comment and I deleted it about how I need to be nicer to my chickens. Like, I feel like it was the one video they saw of me, but whatever. I did delete it though. So listen, but that's really not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is I come here to have fun, to enjoy what I'm doing, to share it with other people, to hopefully help somebody, right? I have gotten so comfortable with that block from channel button, because what I don't come here for is for people to attack me because they saw a video, maybe just one video of me, never watched another video of me. Maybe you did watch another video of me, and maybe you just felt it in your heart that day. I don't have the energy for it, y'all. Now, I'm very open to people's suggestion, people saying, you know, what they think I should do, because you also can't tell me what I need to do, what will not work, what won't, you know, will work. You can, right? But I'm still gonna do what I want to do, because I like to experiment. That's like a part of me gardening. I like to experiment, and it's not the majority. So I also want to say that is not the majority, but I need to say it, because if you get blocked, I want you to know why you got blocked. I mean, I'm not gonna block you for, you know, I don't know, saying I need to power wash my fence, because I don't care. that's your opinion. Actually, it does need to be power washed. I'm just not gonna do it because I don't feel like it. I definitely think it's raining. Glad we came in the greenhouse. Anyway, that's it, that's all. So we got those corn planted out. I'm using the microgreen trays. I find these to be very helpful for seed starting too. And I don't grow that many microgreens at the same time. So I find this to be very helpful. I like those two for seed starting. All right, so now we're gonna start our microgreens in these trays. The top tray needs to have the slits in it. The bottom tray needs to not be the one with the slits, because that's how you're gonna water your microgreen seeds. Super excited about that corn. Also need to make a tag. And now we're just gonna start the microgreens. So we're gonna fill the trays with soil. I prefer to do it with soil, but people do it with other grow mediums too, but I just use soil mostly because this is what I have. It's what I have. Also, y'all, all of my seeds that I plan to start early have been started. Everything that's left is direct sowing seeds. So that's how I know. And I'm sorry about the noise. I think they're working on something next door, if y'all hear it. You probably also hear the generator and the heater, but in order for me to be out here, I need it. I need it. Anyway, let's fill the other one for me, one for the chickens. They really love this. And once they've grown, the roots kind of bunch up in here, and I could just pull the whole thing out and sit it out for them. They love these things. And for $1.25, so these are the same microgreen seeds. I just picked up some more from the Dollar Tree, $1.25 tree, and that's what we're gonna use. I think they delicious. I done got my mama to eating them too. She called and she said, "Do you have any microgreens?" I was like, "No," so I'm gonna start some so she can get some too. The sun is supposed to come out around 1 or 2 o'clock, but I need to vlog, so I wanted to get this stuff done first, because I ain't gonna lie, the garden is always gonna come first, y'all. So if you waiting for a vlog, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, I promise. So we're just gonna put these across the top of the soil. You sow them pretty densely. That's how you get them to just kind of be microgreens, small little sprouts. So you sow them densely in the tray, and I'm gonna water this tray, but just for showing you all, I like them. I mean, I think they're real tasty. And then I'm gonna take this tray and sit it on top of it, and then I'm gonna sow the next one, the next group. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get back in the house, y'all. Actually, I might be out here for a while just hanging out, because it is definitely raining. You just sow them pretty densely across the top, and you don't have to mix it into the soil either. Well, I don't, is what I'm gonna say. You don't have to. I push it down like that. Y'all hear that rain? Lord. And then I'm just going to show you with this one so I don't have to move the camera. Then I'm gonna set another one on top of it and weigh it down. And in a few days, I'll start to, in a few days, I'll come back and pick it up, and we'll start to see the sprouts. And that's when I will uncover it completely. And those will actually go in the house onto the seed starting station, because that's where I'm going to use them at in the house. I don't mind having a little bit of stuff in the house. I can't tell y'all how glad I am for both of these greenhouses this year. I think this is the most I've really used this greenhouse. This year is the most I've really used this greenhouse, but it has been a complete lifesaver. Have not had to clean my kitchen because I got soil everywhere. The seedlings are out in the other greenhouse doing well. Someone had asked me if my seedlings get leggy when I leave them in the greenhouse. I'm not seeing that they are leggy, so in case you are thinking of getting the greenhouse. Now, if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have got the green covering. I would have gotten a clear covering. However, I think that in the heat of the year, but there isn't really anything in the greenhouse in the heat of the year, but I probably would have got the clear covering, just so you know. But either way, I'm liking them. The reinforcements that we put on the other greenhouse is working. It was very windy yesterday. We were supposed to get a thunderstorm, but it never really thunderstormed. It did thunder a little bit, but that greenhouse was not budging, because I was coming outside to look. I took the plants down, but I also wanted to know, like, is this gonna work? And I'm trying to talk louder. Y'all, I'm so glad I came in here when I did. I had cleaned out the garden and everything. Well, not cleaned out, but like got all my stuff out before I came in here too. And now it's raining. I did that at the perfect time. I also was thinking I could do this quick, so maybe I don't need the heater. Girl, I'm so glad that I bought the heater out here too. I really am. But that's pretty much all we're doing today. But at this point, we're gonna wait it out. We're gonna wait it out. This cold. And I had it out here all day with me. That makes sense. It's definitely cold though.